Animal communication. Animal communication. Focus question. How and why do animals communicate? Many ways to communicate. When people hear the word communication, they often think of human speech. Although humans also have other ways to communicate, smiling and hugging among them. Speech is one of the most important. Speech requires skills and often body parts that other animals don't have. Still, there's no doubt that they communicate. Non-human animals communicate in many ways. The reasons usually relate to food, staying safe, finding mates, or alerting others to their presence. They have an amazing range of communication methods, and most species use more than one. Communicating by sound. Animals may be the most important way that vertebrates communicate. Sound travels farther than other forms of communication, and the receiver doesn't need to be looking at the sender. Humans use their tongue, vocal cord, and other related body parts, along with their breath to speak. Chimpanzees, which are among humans' closest relatives, have similar vocal structures. Although chimps can't use those structures with the same skill and speed as humans, or to express complex ideas, they still use them to communicate. Chimps laugh while playing, scream when upset, and make a loud wah when they come upon something dangerous or unusual. They also use breaks, grunts, and other sounds to communicate important information, such as where to find food over long distances. Warning: vervet monkeys make 3 different kinds of alarm calls. The calls not only warn other group members that a dangerous animal is nearby, but also communicate what kind of animal it is. Each call prompts a different response. Snake calls prompt them to stand up and look around on the ground. Leopard calls prompt them to run up trees. Eagle calls prompt them to hide in bushes. Elephants also produce many types of sounds to communicate with group members. Trumpet calls involve forcing air through their trunks. Other sounds such as squeals and groans involve their vocal cords. So do infrasonic sounds, which are too low for humans to hear. These deep calls, which travels for miles, allow elephants to send messages over long distances. Songbirds are another group of animals that use sound to communicate. They are famous for their amazing melodies. Songbirds may sing to attract a mate, guard an area, check in with others, or ask for help. Their songs may also call attention to predators or food. Songbirds produce their fancy songs using a vocal organ called a syrinx. Each side vibrates on its own when air moves over it, allowing songbirds to produce 2 different sounds at the same time. Stringing the sounds together create complex songs. Whale communication is a popular subject for study. Scientists divide whales into 2 groups, food-fed and baleen, based on how they catch food. The 2 groups also communicate with sound in different ways. Most toothed whales, including dolphins, use echolocation, which involves making clicks that bounce off objects. The sounds that come back from fish and other animals help these whales find food. Sounds that bounce off the seafloor and other objects help them navigate. Toothed whales also produce calls or whistles to communicate with other whales of the same species. These whales produce both types of sounds with structures called phonic lips, which sit just below their blowholes. The whales force air from their lungs through the phonic lips. When the phonic lips close, nearby fatty areas vibrate, creating sound which moves toward in a beam. It flows through a fatty structure into the forehead that directs the beam of sound forward toward objects or another whale. Baleen whales, on the other hand, have no teeth. Instead, the inside of their upper jaw is lined with baleen, which is similar to stiff bristles. Baleen traps tiny animals taking in with ocean water. Baleen whales produce low sounds that includes grunts and moans. They also make higher cries, chirps, and whistles. For example, both male and female humpback whales make sounds. However, only the males produce long, repeating sounds known as singing. No one knows the purpose of these sounds or how they're produced. Other kinds of animals. In addition to sounds that involve the breath, animals also produce sounds in many other ways. Here are a few. Animal, kangaroos. Way to communicate. Thumb hind feet. Propose. Warn other kangaroos of danger. Male crickets. Chirp by rubbing wing parts together. Attract a mate and keep other males away. Male pigeons. Clap wings above body. Announce interest in a female. Communicating by sight. Visual communication in the animal world takes many forms. Tails come in especially handy for this purpose. For example, male peacocks display their fancy tail feathers to attract females and declare their dominance to other males. Dogs often wag their tails to express joy, but tail wagging in cats usually means just the opposite. Male rabbits show the white fur under their tail to get the attention of a female. However, a female rabbit shows the same fur to her young to say, "Follow me." Other body movements also send clear visual messages. Bees do a wiggle dance to let other bees know they've found nectar. Horses flatten their ears when they're angry and paw the ground when bored, worried, or in pain. Many animals share their moods by making faces. Fireflies are sports at a different kind of visual communication. Bioluminescence. A chemical reaction in their light organ causes them to flash. Animals may use bioluminescence to communicate with their own species. The different species are both. Young fireflies use it to warn. Fireflies use it to recognize each other and choose mates. Many other animals, including some jellyfish, octopuses, and sharks, also use bioluminescence to communicate. Some animals communicate with quick color changes. Male panther chameleons use sudden color changes to attract a female and to chase away other males. Communicating by touch. Many animals communicate by touch to stay close. People who are fond of each other may hold hands or walk arm in arm. Elephants touch each other with their trunks to express caring or comfort. Lions lick and rub up against each other. Many different kinds of animals care for each other's bodies in a process called social grooming. Bees remove dust, pollen, and parasites from each other's body in herd to reach places. Primates clean each other's body or parasites, dead skin, and dirt. These animals aren't just cleaning each other, they're also making their social bonds stronger. Touch can communicate dominance instead of caring. For example, male Komodo dragons battle each other over food and mates. Bull moose lock their huge antlers in fights over females. Communicating with chemicals. Animals also send messages to each other of the same species through chemicals called pheromones. These chemicals come from special glands undetected through the sense of smell and taste and can communicate different kinds of information. Ants are well known for their use of pheromones. One proposes to lay scant tails that other ants follow to food. Another is to make themselves known to other members of their colony. If they entered the colony of a different ant species, they would be attacked. Many animals use pheromones to attract a mate. In alligators, the male produces the pheromones. Among moths, however, the females give off the pheromones. Some male moths have such sensitive antennae that they can pick up the scent of a female from miles away. Marking territory is another common use for pheromones. A territory is an area that an animal protects against others of the same species. Scent marking with pheromones is a way to let others know that one owns the area. The animal may try to keep others out to lessen competition for food, mates, or nest sites. Rabbits, for instance, mark the ground with a clear liquid from glands on their chin. Antelopes place scent from their facial glands on leaves. Some animals mark an area with pheromones that mix with urine, pee, or duck poop, or both, in the case of hippos. Electrocommunication. Some freshwater fishes produce a weak electrical signal to communicate and navigate. An electric organ, usually located at the base of their tail, creates the signals, which may communicate information about mates, territories, or other topics. These fish also have special cells in their skin that sense incoming signals. Communication between species. People who raise cats and dogs together know that these animals can communicate and sometimes form strong bonds with each other. No one knows whether different species of wild animals communicate on purpose. However, we do know that some animals pay attention to the communication of other species. Scientists call this activity eavesdropping. One species of lemur stays safe from hawks with the help of the warning calls to another kind of lemur and two kinds of birds. When it hears any of those calls, it carefully scans the sky for danger. Some birds, monkeys, and other animals also eavesdrop on other species' warning calls. Scientists will likely discover other examples of eavesdropping as they continue to study wild animals. Trail tales. Eavesdropping in non-human animal isn't just about sounds. A species of stingless bee eavesdrops on another species' pheromone trails. It then avoids these trails, which are likely to lead to areas where the food have already been eaten. New discoveries. Animal communication is a popular field of study, and the discoveries never end. Recent ones include the surprising fact that male mice sing to attract a mate. They make complex strings of sounds that are too high for humans to hear without special equipment. Scientists have compared these sound patterns to birdsong. Recent research also found the source of a strange quacking sound in the Southern Ocean. Scientists and sea travelers had been hearing the bulldog sound since the 1960s. In 2014, a research team finally figured out that the sound came from minke whales. Scientists don't yet know how or why these whales quack, but they will most likely find out as their research continues. Every discovery leads to new questions and a deeper understanding of, and appreciation for, and the endlessly fascinating animal kingdom.